What's up, Comicbook.com? BD here, guys. Another episode of Fear the Walking Dead in the books. Los Muertos, the 9th episode of the 2nd season. Lots happened this episode. Where did Ophelia go? I got some scoop from Mercedes Mason. We're going to talk about it after our special guest joins us for an interview. We are going to talk about this thriving Tijuana community, at least by post-apocalyptic standards, and a little bit of next week, what to expect. So, did they almost cut Nick's hand off? Yeah, we're going to talk about that too. But this does mean spoilers. If you're on the West Coast and you haven't seen the episode yet, spoilers ahead. Beware. Thank you for joining, but you can replay this episode of After the Dead whenever you want. So I totally suggest doing so. We're going to take questions, though, so you kind of bittersweet because the comment section is going to turn into the question section for our special guest, Denai Garcia. That's right. She had an amazing episode tonight as Luciana, the badass chick. I mean, Denai, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We are so excited. This episode was fantastic. Take me through it from your perspective. What was this episode like for you?
Well, it was overwhelming. When I got the script, I realized that in one episode, it takes 10 days to shoot, I had to kill zombies. I have to face the bad guys, the narcos. I have to establish a relationship with Nick. I have to defend my colonia. I had to do it all in one day, in one episode. So it was every scene mattered. Every moment that I was working was extremely important because it's when this character comes to life for real. Yeah. You get to see her, how she thinks, how she feels, how she interacts with the dead, how she interacts with the world. So it was really challenging and so exciting.
Yeah, I mean, great job. It was awesome. I mean, I feel like your character went on a whole arc here on this adventure. But I got to start at the beginning real quick. First of all, why are we feeding people to zombies? What is going on there?
Well, we are actually the guy that joined the wall. He's already infected, but he's not completely advanced that he's turned into a zombie. So what happens is that when anybody in the colonia is infected, they join the wall. So they would not infect, for example, his daughter. And, they want the little girl that says Papa, that's his little kid. And so he will just go away to the wall. And being on that side of the wall, he'll protect the colonia from the humans that come from outside. So he's already infected. We're not sacrificing anybody. He's just joined the wall. And to me, that's kind of like a sign of love. Because I feel like if by all means, if anybody gets infected by anything, let's forget about the zombies. We would like to be away from our families until we recovered. But in this case, there's no recovery. Once you're infected, there's no coming back. But the fact that you can still be useful to the people you love, it's the magic of La Colonia. They stay in that little wall. Because to only get inside the colonia, there's only one way in and out. So if any humans would like to attack us or anybody, they will have to pass all these soldiers of Walking Dead that are our friends, of, that got infected. And that's the beginning of the story, that it was really difficult for Luciana to let him go, but she needs to give him strength to go there. It's just another stage. Remember that. She doesn't see the dead as bad people. They're just an evolution of ourselves.
Gotcha. So, yeah, see, Amy Fomar in the comment section just said, how is the person picked? That's a really cool way to put it, that they're trying to help their people out. I feel like there might be an easier way to check out of this world than feeding yourself to zombies, but you made it sound a little heroic there.
Well, I mean, when I was going deeper into my character, I had to really make sense of it all. And I wanted to make sure that I understood the nuances of this new mentality. And as I said a few times in other interviews, the Mexican culture has a very interesting way to look at death. They have, they celebrate Dia de los Muertos, the day you die, the day you get buried, and the day you're forgotten. So, they are just so far advanced to this dynamic that it completely makes sense how they would just go there to that extreme.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now, I got to talk, when you walked into that pit, you're a Luciana character. She walked right in there. She shoved that zombie right against the wall and was like, all right, let me cover myself in this stuff like a champion. What is it like wearing all that stuff? Does it actually smell? Is there any smell to that makeup, the blood you're wearing?
It's really sticky. It doesn't have a smell. It's like a gel, and gel
Yeah.
like a neutral gel. It doesn't have a smell. It's just this gooey thing, and they call it Gore. So I usually, when I know that I have to be in zombie field, and I know that there's Gore, I usually say to my makeup artist, so stage 1, 2, or 3. Like stage 1 is like when you're completely covered. Stage 2 is when you can actually blink and nothing sticks in your eyes. So it's like at least you could smile and open your eyes and nothing comes in. And stage 3 is when just little brushes, like you just like, oh, okay, this is like, so we have this language that we kind of, but at the beginning it's really, it's like really uncomfortable because you're just not used to having this sticky thing in your face unless you go to a spa or something. But like usually when they say, oh, I'm going to makeup, you think that you're going to be pretty, you think that they're going to make you
Not on this show.
makeup. No, not today. This is like, let's get a makeup, let's just get completely covered. it was
Yeah.
it was a bit of an adjustment, but it has no smell. It's just, it has the visual part of it, like,
You make the blood look good. I'll give you that. You make the blood
yeah,
look good.
yeah, they're like, oh, you look gorgeous. Like, yeah, I know, it's like, it's happening.
So let me ask you this: if this was a real thing, if the dead started walking, and you were in that Tijuana community as yourself, as Denai Garcia, which side of the fence do you think you'd fall on? The Nick side of just having hope without like this belief in the dead, or do you think you'd be on the same side that Luciana and Alejandro are on, where the dead are servicing you on their way somewhere else?
I think I will be on the fence of Luciana and Alejandro because, so as far as today in the apocalypse, there's no explanation to what's going on. One day we just woke up and this started happening. So, as we are survivors at the end of the day, as humans, as species, we want to survive. So I think the best way to do it is when you kind of like use it in your advantage to survive, that it has a positive outcome, that you can go to sleep and say, okay, tomorrow's going to be another day. It's going to be challenging, but we're not alone. They are not just wanting to attack us. We have to
Mm-hmm.
actually take care of it, look after ourselves from the humans, not from the dead, because
Yeah.
obviously they're not going anywhere. I mean, it's been like 2 months since the apocalypse that started, and the dead are the
They're winning.
infection
They're winning
happen.
the war there.
So it's I think that when you just make sense of it and not fight it, and even though it's scary, it's when you actually start to think and when you function better.
Hmm.
And that's why I think that I will go with Luciana and Alejandro.
Okay, all right. I don't know. I might be more like Nick, I think. I'd just be like, all right, let's fix
You'll be
this
walking
and
with the
survive.
dead, trying to like get to know them.
Yeah, but I'd be
Uh,
kind of like, if we have to kill him, we have to kill him. I don't know. I'd be like, let's just,
well,
I think I'd
well,
be more like Rick
obviously,
Grimes.
in my sense, if I had to kill them, I have to kill them. I did. Like in this
That's true.
episode,
That is true.
I pin him and I use his blood. The reason why we put blood in our bodies is so the other zombies don't smell
Hmm.
that we're alive.
Yeah, I like
So
to think that I'd be like Rick Grimes, but really I'd probably just like snore while I was sleeping and attract a bunch of zombies and just get eaten in my sleep. But I'll tell my friends, hey, yeah, I'd be like Rick.
Luciana just kills them if she has to. I mean, no
Yeah.
offense. Like, if at the end of the day you're protecting yourself, and they don't know any better. The moment you're infected, you can't think. So we have to guide them to what they, where they should be, so they can protect us. But I used them to survive. Like the reason why I pinned this guy and I slashed his neck off is because I wanted to grab his blood and just use it. And I tell Nick, put on your makeup. I can smell you from here.
Yeah, yeah, that
So
was a good scene. And you told him to be absolutely quiet. Don't
I'm
forget
being
that.
quiet because
Shh.
the zombies, they hear sound.
And I
That's
think
the thing they
Luciana might
hear.
get a little annoyed a little easily.
Oh yeah, she can.
That's
It's
not a chick
gonna
you want to
get
mess with.
worse.
Uh, what is this situation with Alejandro and the bite? I got to talk about this. I know Dave Erickson. I talked to the producer earlier this week, and he told me he promised it's going to play out. It's going to have a payoff. Personally, I think he's lying. I think he's just doing this to rally the community. Hey, yeah, I said it, but I mean, don't spoil anything too bad. But what do you think? What is going on with Alejandro and this alleged bite mark?
Well, it was pretty impressive, right? Like, do you see that? I
Yeah.
saw when he was with when he had it on, and I just like, oh God, that's the moment as an actress, you're like in a different place. Like this is not normal life,
Yeah, it's so cool.
But the bite, the mark, and the whole thing. The beautiful part, the reason why La Colonia is surviving and thriving the best we can. We have water. It's like a luxury, really. Like Colonia is like, think of the most beautiful city ever. Like that's it in comparison to the rest of the world outside.
Mm-hmm.
It's running really well. Why? Because Alejandro has this certain belief, and the certain belief that he has are based on what happened to him. So I, as Luciana, trust him, and he's basically the voice of La Colonia, and I'm basically the example of that voice for the people a La Colonia. Mm-hmm. Like he tells, okay, de la muerte venimos y a la muerte nos entregamos means from death we come and to death we give ourselves. And there's a beautiful speech that will be coming in coming episodes that would explain why that is and why I stand by him as Luciana, because she's a leader too. Yeah. She's somebody that also gives hope and everything to La Colonia, and that bite has a lot to do with that belief. I cannot say the nuances of that, but there's a great the speech that I said to Nick, that he was bitten. Like that's why I know, because he was bitten, but he didn't die. He was bitten by a zombie, but he didn't.
I'm not
die.
buying it. I'm not buying it.
There's a hope that perhaps this could end at some point. We just have to understand why this is happening, and that's going to unravel in coming episodes.
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
One of the reasons why she believes is that hopefully this extension of ourselves, which is the zombies, will eventually stop. That's why we should not fear it. We should adjust, and those are the ones that survive.
If you guys take them out down there, I'll be impressed if you guys manage to cure it all. I hope. I don't know. It'd be big. It'd be pretty big. Just save the world. No big deal. We're just saving the world.
One day at a time.
Now, we got one last question here. We're going to take this from the comment section. Now, they asked it in English, but I'm going to ask it in Spanish. ¿Cómo se dice zombie en español?
¿Cómo se dice zombies? Los zombies?
Los zombies?
Yeah, zombies with an S.
Is it spelled the same?
Yeah, with an S.
With an S. With an S. Okay.
Zombie.
Well, there it is. There's the answer to your burning question, guys. Awesome. Hey, Denai, thank you so much for joining tonight. We were so happy to have you. You did a great job in the episode, and you were a blast just now, so thank you so much.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you so much.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right, Comic Book. That's right. That was Denai. She did a great job tonight's episode. Let us know what you thought in the comment section. Two things I want to touch on real quick before we hang up. I did get to talk to Mercedes Mason about this episode because Ophelia is one of my favorites, and Mercedes is also one of my favorites. She's such a sweetheart. So I was just like, hey, excuse me, tell me you didn't jump off that balcony. And I said, where is Ophelia? And she told me she's finding herself. Now, she did tease that there's either a Carol transformation in Ophelia's future or like a suicidal, living on the edge, don't really care anymore transformation. I'm hoping for the Carol transformation, Carol from The Walking Dead. So that's where we're at with that. And can we talk about this situation where they almost cut Nick's hand off? I know all the comic book fans were watching that thinking, oh, they're going to do it because they did that to Rick in the comics. And personally, I think if they did that, that would have just blown everybody's mind, and it would have been like the most shocking moment Fear the Walking Dead could have had to offer, possibly. They didn't do it. Nick talked his way out of it, which was really cool. He's way more useful than anyone could have predicted back when he was a drug addict. But still, don't do drugs because, as we saw with Gloria, that's how you start the zombie apocalypse. And next week, big Travis and Chris episode. I'll tell you this, I don't think we see Luciana and Nick next week, but I will tell you we're going to see Travis and Chris. So big episode with Cliff Curtis and Lorenzo James Henry coming back. It's a lot of fun. Chris is really going off the deep end, guys, so you're not going to want to miss that episode. We will be back next week. We will be back tomorrow on Comic Book's page with Comic Book Now. But next Sunday night, we'll be back at 10 p.m. Eastern Time with another special guest. Thank you so much for watching. It's because you guys watch that we get to do this, so I can't thank you all enough. Please share it, comment, all that good stuff. If you have more questions, please feel free to send them to me on Twitter at BrandonDavisBD. And make sure you're following Comicbook.com on all the social media platforms and all that good stuff for all your news in between episodes every week. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you soon.